This is Carl Krenzel again with Carl Buys Houses. Thank you so much for joining me today. Just wanted to go ahead and give you a quick update, let you know exactly what the multiple listing service did over the weekend. If you can remember last Friday on the video that we did, I showed you that we had new listings. We had a total of 94 brand new listings come on the multiple listing service as of Friday. And if you can look right here, you'll see that currently there is 153 brand new listings that came on the multiple listing service within the last 24 hours. That's an incredible amount. When you look at the active contingents, that's 132. That was a 47 the last time we looked at them on Friday. And now when you look at the closed, there's 76 on Friday. Now there's 106 more. I mean, good gracious, in the last 24 hours, there were 106 recorded closings on the multiple listing service. Now, obviously, they weren't all on Sunday. Many of those were late Friday. Maybe they didn't get entered in to the multiple listing service late Friday. But nonetheless, that is an enormous amount of homes, people that are closing and moving into a home right now. When you think about that 106 number, that's 106 families that got their money. That's 106 families that are moving in to a property. I mean, when you think about it, that's an awful lot of people for December 9th in this so-called slow season. A lot of people are not from Tucson. And what I've discovered is that a lot of people come to Tucson from back east, where they have traditional markets. Now, what do I mean when I say a traditional market? A traditional market is simply this. A traditional market is where you have a people buying and selling in the spring and the fall, and in the winter months, things are pretty slow. But in Tucson, that's not the case at all. Let me show you here real quick on the multiple listing service, InfoSparks again. Let's take a look at the single family residences only this time. You remember last time we were looking at all the property types. This time we're going to narrow it down to just single family residences and see what's specifically going on in this area. Now, if we look in the multiple listing service at only single family residences, and I'll tell you what, let's make it just the 2 bedrooms, 3 bedroom, tell you what, 3 bedrooms, we'll make it very clear, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath properties in Tucson, let's say 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. That's probably going to cover a majority of, most of the people who are going to listen to this podcast. So when you think about it, single family residences with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,500 to 1,000 to 2,000 square feet. What has that market been like? Well, if you crunch the numbers down, right now in the entire multiple listing service, there's only 387 properties that match that description. I'm just going to let that soak for just a second. 387 properties that fit that description of a single family, 3 bedroom, 2 bath property between 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. That's the only amount of homes that are for sale right now. 387, and that goes across the Tucson multiple listing service. That's from Tubac to Catalina, from 3 Points out to Benson, right? I mean, you've got a wide swath of property, of land to cover, and a very small amount of property, right? Now let's take a look at the amount of homes that are pending. Right? As you can see in November, the end of November in the multiple listing service, there was 210 of those properties that were pending. So, I mean, when you think about it from that perspective, okay, it doesn't take a genius to see that, if nobody else put their home on the multiple listing service, if nobody else who had a single family, 3 bedroom, 2 bath property with 1,500 to 2,000 square foot home, if nobody else put their home on the market like that, it would take us less than 2 months to burn through that inventory. That's how many buyers we have for properties like yours. And so that's why when you go back and you look at the multiple listing service here, you can see that this is an incredibly fast period of time. A lot of people tend to think that this is a very slow period. That's not the case at all. If you're wanting to sell your property, this is certainly a good time to do it because there's very little competition and there is an awful lot of buyers. But then the question comes up, well, I don't want to move. I don't want to move during the holidays. Well, that's great. Nobody else does either. That's why a lot of times everybody just will agree to everything in contract and either close prior to the end of the year with a stipulation where you stay in the contract in the property after the holidays, or they just close after the first of the year. I mean, either way, it's easily done. But as you can clearly see, the Tucson Multiple Listing Service is on fire. Well, listen, I hope that's been helpful to you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and give me a call. My number is 520-403-6227. Again, this is Carl Krenzel with Carl Buys Houses, and this has been your daily real estate update. Thanks a lot, and have a powerful day. Bye-bye.